purpose model. These are the types of categories and instances there are. Burstable, and I don't know if AWS splits it out this way, but I have, because I want you to remember it this way. Burstable, general purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized, storage optimized, and accelerated computing. The ones in yellow, I don't need you to memorize those completely, but I want you to remember them. Because when somebody says, I need a lot of memory, I want you to be able to say, okay, we need to look at R types. Or they say, I need a lot of disk or storage. I want you to say, let's look at D. And here's how you remember this. Burstable, okay? This is the hardest one to remember, but think about this T. Burstable, with the T, burst. General purpose, think about this as like medium. It's kind of the average, medium. M. Compute optimized, C. Compute, C. Memory, what is memory? RAM, R. Storage is what? Disk, D. TMCRD. Again, it's not the end of the world. You can always look them up, but try and commit that to memory. Burstables, general purpose are M, compute optimized are C, memory optimized are R, storage optimized are D. These other ones are not used as often, but you have access to them and you can always look them up, if you need something in particular. Okay, T, M, C, R, and D. In fact, T, M, C, and R are the ones I see use the most. D on the database side sometimes. Okay, general purpose, there's two types, right? There's three types, TMA, but I want to talk about T's and M's. T's are burstable. Burstable instances are instances that you don't get, essentially the performance bursts over time. So you can use, let's say, or your usage can burst over time. But if you use too much of the CPU, it's going to reduce the amount of CPU available to you. So basically, it's assuming that your workloads are going to be spiky, that it's going to be low, then high, then low, then high, low, then high. If you have constantly high workloads, that the burstables are going to force you down. Now they've changed some of the options, and they allow you to kind of stay constant for additional money and stuff like that. But think about it as burstable as something that you're going to use when you have spiky workloads. M, medium, or general purpose, is when you have kind of an average, you don't need too much memory, you don't need too much disk, you don't need too much networking, you just kind of get away with an average type of CPU. That's when you use the M class. Compute optimized, so this is when you've got applications like the ones that are listed here that use a lot of CPU. Not so much memory, not so much disk, but they need a lot of performance. And so you're going to use these compute optimized or C class instances. Then you've got memory optimized. Again, memory, think of it as R, RAM, R type, okay? That's when you've got a lot of memory being used. In-memory databases, any sort of memory requirements, high memory requirements, you're going to use a memory optimized. And then storage optimized. This is going to give you more storage compared to more storage per, let's say, per CPU or per gigabyte of RAM than the other ones. And then accelerated computing, machine learning, deep learning. People use it for high performance computing. You've got GPU processors and things like that, which are part of these types of instances.